I had to say it. Poo brains all over the place. I'm gonna get the correct pronunciation because I'm not an inbred. No! Admittedly, if you're not super familiar with Spanish and you've never heard the pronunciation and you're reading it with American English, you're not wrong, but it's a Spanish word.
Okay, first attempt, I have an idea.
Mr. Krabs, I have an idea.
An idea of the terrible, awful variety. Though the one problem is, if I remember correctly, I think the Talonflame is the thing with the focus.
Yes, the Talonflame is focus assed. I ran into that problem because I reset.
That's why I saved first. Switch you and we can just solving tantrum because good, it didn't priority. And now it doesn't have the okay, good.
Fire types can't be burned.
Or that shows that it's actually not Gale Wings, that it is actually Flame Body.
I believe it was Flame Body. He's trying to burn physical attackers. The thing is, though, you can't burn a fire type. And Moldbreaker.
Though because it's Talonflame, it's probably going to Brave Bird, but that's good because if it Brave
It might set up Tailwind, it might Brave Bird. Yep. That's fine.
Die to recoil.
This is fine. Yeah, this is okay. Rain cuts fire damage by 50%.
Now the thing is, because reasons, Magmortar can get Thunderbolt, so it... Oh, you cheeky motherfucker! I genuinely didn't expect that.
This is still fine, though.
And I guess swap to you for 5 minutes because you're the thickest, and let's try to take you.
Sun cuts water damage. And Cameron is going to mostly be a special attacker.
They're both special attackers. Oh, water reducing parry. So I guess at the same time, that's good that I got that out of the way now. Yep. Yeah, there it is. Negative damage. And then you're trying to cheese out the... Fuck you.
Really how this works. Welcome to the Weather Wars, son.
Welcome to VGC.
And as always...
And the funny thing is that, like, Cameron, if it tried a ground move, I will be immune. If it clicks a fire move, again, negative damage. Do we get negative damage? Oh, Earth Power, except that... That's actually a clever game.
This is fine. This is fine because
Because I can just hurricane you and scold you.
Because that's a 4 times weakness.
Yes.
You ain't living that in the rain.
Now, the one unfortunate... Actually, no, I believe teleport should be faster than execute.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, if the game was faster, they could do the same.
Fat special defense. Ah! Harvest.
Shouldn't it? Yeah, I was about to say, shouldn't it eat the berry again?
Yeah.
How fat is...
What?
How fat is Executor's special defense?
Really high. Like, really, really high. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember it's kind of insane. Hold on, let me go look that up.
Because like I said, I'm fucking amazed you lived to that.
Oh, well, other note, in the sun, Harvest is 100% odds of getting the berry back. So this motherfucker is basically
Yes.
using Harvest.
Focus. Meh.
That hits the physical defense. Still thick though. Yep, speed boost blaze again.
Of course, it's speed boost blaze again.
This really is PGC. Man's spotting you with Wolfie's Harvest set.
Why did you stone edge that one? Why did you stone edge that one? I seriously have a fucking question there. Why? You could have stone edged the bird. Unless the game literally did look at Gudra's special defense, no, physical defense is lower. Though, you know, Maurice, you die. Because that harshly drops special defense, and...
Man had an angry Sun team.
Yes.
Could have been an angrier Sun team.
Yeah, it's because he didn't have any, like... He didn't have any automatic sunsetters. It was only manual. Where you could have had a Torkoal.
Could have also been funny with Skull Villain.
Yeah, could have had that one too. Especially because he's a chef, and the gimmick before this was making a spicy sandwich. Wait, yeah, why doesn't he have the pepper? Unless they thought that would be copying Arvin's gimmick again, because, you know, Arvin was also a, like, chef, so because of that, all of his Pokémon tie to cooking, which that's a small detail with Arvin I love. Other than the Mavastiff, everything he has ties to, like, cooking in some way. Greedent collects berries. A Garganacl creates salt.
Okay, the thing with Executor...
A Toadcruel creates mushrooms.
Okay, the thing with Executor, I had my wires crossed a little bit. It's... The HP is really high. The defense and special defense are about on par with an Amoonguss.
Though at the same time,
That-
I know this Pelipper, it has like I think it is like 4. I think the 4 was put into special attack. It was put into special attack or speed. I can't remember. I know it has no, like, attack investment, but fucking Hurricane...
That HP girth.
It's 120 power, plus stab, plus super effective. I feel like
that HP girth.
I also have to remember it's like 20 levels higher.
That HP girth.
I feel like that shows that they are actually possibly EV trained. Like, I feel like that shows they have to have some level of EV training. Because I feel like if that wasn't EV trained, even if it had perfect stats, it probably shouldn't have lived that unless it lived purely off damage rolls. Because that would not surprise me if that was the actual answer to that, is that it was...
It would have been down to damage rolls because you were uninvested, but that HP girth. Behold, the power of the fat ass.
Well, I think uninvested again. I might have put the... I think I put the 4 into special attack because the reason I wouldn't put it into speed to give it like an extra point of speed, because the slower...
Behold, the way of the old man.
The slower weather, you know, because it goes last, that's the one that ends up staying, so I think it might be 4 points of special. Okay, now I need to do missions. How do you do the...
What do you...
blueberry missions?
You just do blueberry missions. There's
I mean, how do you check the list to see what...
Right D-pad. It's... You just do the right D-pad. It's just right there. Which means I can explain a mechanic I never actually explained in my playthrough. Which makes sense, but is a little bit annoying. Which is the other thing about the blueberry missions.
What?
You start off with really crap missions, and if you do a bunch of the really crap missions, the director will call you and it's like, oh, you've actually proven that you're not incompetent. Here are some intermediate missions. And if you do enough intermediate missions, he'll call you, oh, you've proven you're a big dick baller. Here are the hard missions. Though, sadly, the best way to grind the blueberry points...
It actually lived.
Sadly, the best way to grind the blueberry points is multiplayer.
Of course it's multiplayer.
The best way to grind it with a team, because they did something stupid in multiplayer.
What, does everyone's points total together?
Anyone who gets points for anything, the entire group gets the points, and there are huge multiplayer-only missions. And the multiplayer... And the multiplayer-only missions... like, even a lower end of that, someone got a multiplayer-only mission, and the multiplayer-only mission they got was worth 600 points on its own.
As you do.
So you have to grind with friends.
I need to catch something I wanted to... Flygon's okay, I guess. Guess I'll catch that.
Flygon? Flygon and her goggles!
My eyes, the goggles,
they do nothing. Good old Flygon.
I wish you were better. I kind of wish that bullshit leak was true and you had gotten Tinted Lens as a hidden ability.
That would be phenomenal.
Even though the guy that covered a video talking about that fake leak said that would actually be terrible. Because Flygon is cheeks.
Flygon's offensive stats are both basically 100, And Tinted Lens means not very effective moves effectively deal neutral damage, and Flygon has access to Dragon Dance. And while 100 is by no means the best attacking stat, at +1, the fact that nothing could conventionally resist you is kind of absurd.
That would theoretically be okay with like Draco, Meteor, and
Or a physical Dragon Dance set,
you know,
so that you would be +1.
did I not get the fly point there, or is the fly point somewhere else?
I don't believe.
Oh wait, no, there it is.
Yeah. That's the thing about Flygon specifically. They did give Flygon Dragon Dance. And at +1, having basically no resistances is quite nice, because that would essentially give you a really good niche where at +1 you could spam like Dragon Claw.
Dude,
Very coherently.
how do you open the camera?
Down on the D-pad, I believe.
It's not doing anything.
You have to be on land. Off the... Yeah. Yep. Because you can't pull out your camera while you're right.
Weak. Okay, it's full.
There you go.
I love how now just going through the water, you just get all of the Eevee training feathers.
And the unfortunate sad reality, as of now, there basically is no fucking IV editing, like, thing in this game.
Because of course there's not the,
Because I was kind of holding out hope. Maybe it was tied to the clubhouse, since there was a lot of unique bullshit, but it looks like new.
unless it is the farthest thing in the clubhouse where you need, like, millions of points of, like, BP to get this.
Because we didn't have time to talk about this in my recordings. Because my recordings were, like, basically within the launch window. And Carson's recording is a little bit after the fact, where we had time to learn some stuff. And Koo, when he was talking about leaks, kept doing this obnoxious, like, oh, PK Hex fans will be happy, hee hee hee. Except there's no fucking PK Hex mode, you liar.
That's not the only thing you fucking lied about.
Yes, but that one pisses me off more, because it's not the reason that one pisses me off more is the joke you made, where I was like, at the time, what I thought would happen, because I said this, and now I agreed Carson could be right, but my idea was like, oh, that Game Freak was going to actually give you an entire digital team editor where you could create a rental code that is completely 100% fabricated and edit the EVs and the IVs and the natures of your rental code. And it literally was a digital team builder that existed entirely in a computer, and the rental code you created could be used online. And this would basically let people that did not have time to build a full natural team create a fake digital team for online events, and the game would basically stress very clearly this digital team can only be used in digital events, which would basically be their way to explain you can only use it in online battles and stuff. And I said that based on the way Ku was talking, because before he did the PK Hex bullshit, he had mentioned a couple of times, he said digital team, and that seemed like something that would happen that made sense. They would just let you build a digital team, and that the digital team you were building would basically be a digital team that you could then give out as a rental code, and this would let people get into battling without needing to build a live team. And the only stipulation is you cannot use this digital team, you know, in the game because it doesn't exist. And I thought that if that happened, that Ku's way to kind of save face if people were like, what the fuck were you talking about? You liar. And then Ku would kind of, all I was saying was a PK Hex-like mode. They gave you a team editor. I never said that the team editor was something that you could use the Pokemon you edited in the main game. I just said there was a PK Hex-like mode, because before the PK Hex fans will be happy, was this dumb thing about digital teams and digital editor. And then Carson had said that we realistically probably wouldn't even get that. I was like, that would be kind of funny, but then Carson was alright. It's like, god damn it. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, how would you feel if they had actually given Flygon Tinted Lands? A lot of people said that would not have been that good, but I think a lot of people undermine how good Tinted Lands actually is. It basically makes it so that resisted damage is bumped up to neutral damage, meaning in order to resist something, it needs to be a quad resistance, and even that is basically bumped to a single resistance. A regular resistance is removed in its entirety, meaning you hit everything for neutral unless it was a quad resistance. And I don't think people really understand how good that is, because you can basically hit through a resistance, meaning you are a lot harder to check. And this would also mean that Flygon could run Dragon Dance, and then it could basically survive off just ground and dragon, because you practically don't need coverage at that point, other than the fact that dragon moves can't hit fairy types, and ground moves can't hit flying types. So that is your only problem, and you could easily run some coverage in your final slot, because everything you use effectively can't be resisted unless it's a quad resistance. So you end up in a scenario where few Pokemon can actually stop you from doing damage, because what a lot of people never really think about is how good it is to effectively hit almost everything in the game for neutral damage, that means it's harder to straight out stop you from dealing damage. And Dragon Ground is a good stab combo for Tinted Lens. You would only need an extra coverage move to offset that combo if you were running a physical set. And if you were running a special set, you basically have unresisted Draco Meteors, and that's always incredibly ridiculous in its own right. Really think about how much damage you could do if someone tried to swap in a Steel type to resist a move like that, and you had Tinted Lens, meaning it would hit for effectively neutral damage. This is insane. And that basically means you don't need to worry as much, but I also think the Dragon Dance set would become a really good go-to because you could run a clear amulet and effectively stop yourself from basically getting attack drops because of that. And then you could set up and use a lack of resistances to actually do pretty good damage, all things considered. You would become more of a hole punch because nothing with Tinted Lens has ever been as strong as something like a Flygon. Low kicks was close, and think about how much damage it can do with a lack of resistances. Now imagine a Pokemon that can set up Dragon Dance, and then really think about how insane that is. You would have a good option to basically become quite the hole punch, because resistances mean nothing, meaning you can spam your stab types and very few Pokemon can straight out stop you from doing that. Anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.